If I had $1 every time a Stephen King adaptation about a competition which involves a form of physical transportation released in 2025, I would only have $2, which isn't much, but it's still weird it happened twice. 2025's The Running Man stars It guy Glenn Powell as everyday man Ben Richards. Richards' family falls on especially hard times when his daughter falls fatally ill, forcing his hand to participate in a deadly competition where contestants must survive 30 days while being hunted by a professional assassin. If that sounds familiar, it's probably because you've read the Stephen King novel, and if you haven't but it still sounds familiar, it's probably because you watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger starring The Running Man from 1987, a far more campier film than this one. This film sticks to the material far more than the 1980s film, and if we know anything about Stephen King, that probably means that this is his favorite take on the material. But will it be yours? I wanted nothing more than to come here and tell you as an absolute fact, yes it will be. After all, you've got director Edgar Wright at the helm, and even if you don't agree he's one of the best working today, he's definitely one of the most distinctive. He's a lot like Wes Anderson in that he has a very distinct style, but unlike Wes Anderson, we're not sick of it yet. His films are full of endless visual gags, clever transitions, and music tends to play a huge part. And though we as audiences have yet to tire of the Edgar Wright style, it seems that he himself just might have. Because while The Running Man is a solid, entertaining action film, a romp at the movies, it also feels very little like an Edgar Wright film. Outside of a few visual gags here and there, if you removed his name from the credits, you simply would never guess he directed this movie. You'd probably guess it was directed by David Leitch, or who knows, maybe Chad Stahelski had a bit of a weak day at the office. I think because of the potential of Edgar Wright as a director, we all went to this movie expecting it to reach great heights. And if you compare it to the director's best films, you will most definitely leave the theater disappointed. This is no Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, or even Baby Driver. This is a well-executed action film with some solid set pieces, some funny jokes, some great performances, but an Edgar Wright movie, this is not. Unfortunately, there are moments in this movie that did look a lot like a Marvel movie. It really had that made-for-TV look, which is the last thing you want to say about a director known for his supreme visual style. I've been on board the Glenn Powell train for quite a while now. I mean, even if it's a movie I'm not big on like Hitman, I still think he brings the goods. And this right here is some of his best work. He plays a character who is simultaneously the everyman who's super relatable, and then at a moment's notice switches into a Tom Cruise style action hero with no effort whatsoever. And while Glenn tends to keep us at arm's length as an audience, there are moments here where he truly rips his heart open and shows us his character's soul, making for some of the best acting we've ever seen, definitely dramatically from this dude. This is a lot like a road movie where characters kind of slide in and out of the picture, and there are some brilliant supporting performances here. There's a great turn here from Emilia Jones, but I gotta give high praise to Coleman Domingo, who might just have stolen the whole film. He's one of our most versatile actors working today, and he continues to prove that here, playing the game show host with such flair, such style, that maybe you even start getting around to liking this douchebag. Josh Brolin as a TV show producer is Josh Brolin. I mean, he's fine, but at this point, I would like to see him switch it up a little bit as an actor. Like, we're getting a little bit into Dwayne The Rock territory here, don't you think? While this is an incredibly entertaining film, the story of The Running Man is, at its core, the story of the real world. In specific, I think Spider-Punk can say it better than I ever could.
It's a metaphor for capitalism.
The Running Man does not shy away from the themes of the original story at all, but it does sometimes feel like it's going back and forth between being this dense piece of social commentary and a fun romp. Now you can be both, but that's a delicate balance that Edgar Wright could have managed better than he did here. And a lot of that has to do with quantity. For example, there's this brilliant set piece which you've seen in the trailers, Glen Powell in a towel, and after that high point, the movie takes us to a 15-minute stretch where we're delving into the dark, horrific nature of this game. How capitalism chews people up and then spits them out. How mega billionaires turn the public against each other, dividing and conquering. And for that 15-minute stretch, you feel like you're watching a completely different movie. Thankfully, while the movie does go off course, they do manage to reel it in with a super entertaining final action sequence. One that really drives home what this movie should have been at its core. A fun time at the movie where you sit there for a little bit over 2 hours and watch Glen Powell survive a bunch of assassins. And when the movie is doing that, it's great. I know the definition of movie star is changing, but whatever the new definition is, Glen Powell is definitely it. And when Edgar Wright rests the movie on his shoulder, lets him have fun, do some funny accents, the movie just sings. It's when the movie tries delving into the darker aspects of the subject matter that it grinds to a halt, which often creates a mishmash of two completely unrelated movies. Speaking of visual gag, there is one unintentional visual gag here that I absolutely love. For the vast majority of the movie, Glenn has an injury under his nose, and for the whole time, it makes him look like he has a mustache. Now, I know it wasn't intentional, but that adds at least half a point for me here, resulting in a fun action film with some solid set pieces, a killer charismatic performance from Glen Powell, but one that doesn't reach the heights that we all wish it would when we first saw the name Edgar Wright next to The Running Man. And for that, I'm giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly TV and movie reviews. And if you've had the chance to watch The Running Man, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'm Cinemike, and I'll see you next time.